what is actually taking place in the National Stock Exchange. And the key issue that is actually something that has arisen is how the NSC's Chief Executive Officer in the past, Chitra Ramakrishnan, had actually, according to a report which has come out, made a faceless conman, yogi, make key decisions. Let's go to the top of the rundown for a moment, because I want to just read out a couple of important details on this before I go across to my guests. A few more details of what exactly it is that we are looking at over here. This is our second debate this evening. Now, the astounding story that is of how the ex-CEO of the National Stock Exchange, which has a market capitalization of nearly $4 trillion, allegedly let a faceless yogi make key, seemingly ludicrous decisions as per an official SEBI report. Joining us now, Subhash Chandra Garg, the former Finance Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Madhavan Narayanan, the senior journalist, and Dhirendra Kumar, founder and CEO of Value Research. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. Mr. Kumar, let me come to you first. The market capitalization of the National Stock Exchange is $4 trillion almost, and yet apparently this faceless yogi residing in the Himalayas was responsible for the appointment of a key official. What does this say about the functioning of the National Stock Exchange? Did it not have a system of checks and balances?
No, clearly, actually, just to correct that, NSE is still not a public company. It has no market capitalization. It is yet to go public. But more importantly, it is among the largest, stock exchange in the world, and among the largest, and supporting, and it's a very critical market infrastructure. So in that sense, this is something which is extremely, unprofessional, and it is gross mismanagement. It's really funny that and this has come out in the 200-page report, the order which has come out from SEBI a day before. And the whole, we all have been aware of all these things. We became aware of these things last year when Sucheta and Debashish Basu came out with their book, Absolute Power. And there is a full chapter giving the narration of all the sequence of events and their actions and behavior. And this particular order which has come out, it's really quite alarming. That if we don't have checks and balances, this is a critical market infrastructure. The National Stock Exchange is just not another company. It is a company which is very critical to our market, and that is why it is regulated in a very different way as compared to any other corporation.
In fact, a lot of this has to do with the appointment of Mr. Anand Subramanian, according to the report. He was actually known very little in the industry. He was appointed as the exchange's chief operating officer in 2013. That appointment apparently cost the NSE 5 crore rupees. When he did join, he was earning a fraction. He was earning 15 lakh rupees a year. By the time it went up in a couple of years, he was at the salary level of 5 crore a year, and apparently his appointment was done on the basis of this mysterious email exchange between the CEO of the NSE and some guru who was replying back on email. Mr. Garg, your thoughts on this? I mean, it's astounding. It belongs on Netflix. It doesn't belong, in the real world.
So the SEBI report uncovers the yogi and makes it very clear that this guy, Anand Subramaniam, was actually the guy, a yogi also. So it is nothing short of fraud done in a mysterious manner. This woman, Chitra Ramakrishna, was in a way emotionally and psychologically overpowered by this person who then was appointed exclusively by her, not by the board, not by the system, following the system. So it's a plain and simple story, but very unfortunate and sickening in a way, where the CEO of a big exchange like NSE had virtually become a servant, a kind of gulam of this person.
Right. Madhava Narayanan, what sort of damage was done to the NSE over these years?
Oh, well, Vishnu, I think I kind of agree with both Dhirendra Kumar and Mr. Garg, but I'm afraid there is more to this because NSE is an institution under the supervision of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. And therefore, you'll have to look at it as an institutional problem and not just the monopoly of one woman who might have been mesmerized or, if you don't take things at face value, politically influenced. So we'll have to look at who actually was supposed to supervise her. Was it the finance ministry? Was it the SEBI? Was it fellow officials who might have turned whistleblowers and apparently seem to have turned whistleblowers? Let me also point out to the fact that Ms. Ramakrishna was at the helm of NSE when another major scandal took place, which is called the co-location scam, which is about NSE allowing special privilege to electronic access through the premises in a world where within seconds, hundreds of millions of dollars can be won or lost, therefore creating an uneven playing field. You also have to look at the fact that the Bombay Stock Exchange, now known as BSE, and now defunct MCX SX, had explicitly complained to the SEBI about the co-location, bias that the NSE practiced.
Right.
Now, NSE has a dubious character. Logically speaking, let's draw a parallel between SEBI supervision and the RBI supervision and the Insurance Authority supervision.
Right.
Insurance Development Authority, IRDA, has a declared LIC, New India Assurance and General Re to be systemically important insurance companies.
Right.
Similarly, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank have been declared systemically important.
And in this case?
In this case, NSE was but was never treated as such.
Right.
There was oversight, no supervision. A free hand was given, which is why the book titled Absolute Power is perfectly fit for this NSE.
All right.
And one woman who either she was mesmerized or psychologically compromised or maybe politically influenced, who knows? This is
right. Well, one way or the other, it's just a shocking account, and at least there is transparency in the report.
About Netflix. I've got different story ideas
right.
for Netflix.
All right, look, gentlemen, I'm running out of time. I'd like to leave it over here, but there's so much more to be discussed on what exactly happened per that report.